What's going on, guys? It's Wyatt with Boaters. Let's here with Robert Whibbs, also known as Robo. Very happy to have you here today.
Yeah.
We are on the Panhandler, and we're going to be talking about the Pensacola International Billfish Tournament.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having us. Again, thanks to longtime club member Tim O'Brien for letting us use his boat here today. It's a beautiful 63 GT Hatteras. So, but yeah, let's dive right into the tournament.
Yes, sir. So you are going to be the director for the Pensacola International Billfish Tournament. How long have you been a tournament director? What's your history with kind of overseeing these tournaments? How'd you get into it, man?
So the long answer of that is I've been a member of the Pensacola Big Game Fishing Club since I was a junior angler.
Oh, wow.
So I started out fishing the junior angler tournament when I was a kid, and actually was born during and caused my dad not to be able to fish the 1989 Pensacola International because my mom went into labor during the captain's meeting.
Oh, man.
So my dad's a longtime club member, so I've really just grown up around the club, and I would definitely be considered new generation considering how long it's been around. So the Pensacola International has been around since 1971 was the first one, and the club was actually started right around that time. So, I mean, we've had some of the old founding members are, it's few and far between, and they're still there. They're still, there's a few of them that are still kind of sort of active and come around a little bit. But, I'm definitely the new generation trying to keep it going.
One could say that you were born to direct this tournament if you were making changes that early at the captain's meeting.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I got started a handful of years back when I got back from college and got back into the club and got on the board. I started with the junior angler tournament. It's something I've always held near and dear to my heart because when I got to fish it when I was a kid, I thought it was like I was the Super Bowl for me, because I was like the little kid that got to pretend like I was fishing the big tournaments, which it is a big tournament. It's really special for those kids, and it really gets that conservation for the next generation started. It starts a flame in these kids' hearts that, you can't get it anywhere else unless you go fishing in Gulf of Mexico.
Absolutely. I mean, this area is known for producing kind of lifelong memories for a lot of anglers. In terms of, memories, do you have any interesting fishing stories you can share with us?
I've got a bunch. I've got two that are near and dear to my heart that come into my mind like that. Mm-hmm. The first blue marlin I actually ever caught was on, when I say our boat, we've got a family boat called the Sweepy. My dad is the captain, it's owner-operator. My brother is, you can call him the maiden captain, and you can call me the deckhand. I'm more the do-boy on the boat. But we actually won one of the club tournaments called Mr. October Tournament. We won it with blue marlin that I caught and released on the boat. And so that was my first blue marlin. We won that inter-club tournament, which that inter-club tournament, the Mr. October, is based off of two old members that have passed away. It's in memory of them. Wally Coupe and Steve Kaiser. And so it's a tournament that the club puts on, and it's just a very sentimental tournament for the club. Everybody wants that title of Mr. October, and I actually got to win it back when I was 22, caught my first blue marlin, and we won the Mr. October. And that's, we always do it as a family boat, so that's special. And then the next story that pops into my mind is, we fish a couple tournaments a summer, but we always do it as a family. My dad's running the boat. My brother and I are in the cockpit. We got family and friends on the boat. We're not a pro crew by any means. We're weekend warriors. Yeah. But the weather hit right, and a few years back we went to Biloxi, one of the biggest tournaments on the Gulf Coast, and definitely to say we were an underdog over there is accurate. And at the time, now my wife was on the boat, and she had never fished a tournament offshore, never fished offshore overnight. And she fished a 3-day tournament with, it was just us on the boat. So you get on the boat for 3 days, it's a little bit there. And I already knew that I loved her at that point, but we went out there and we ended up catching the first place tuna.
Oh, wow.
And so to go to a tournament that year had over 120 boats in it, and to win first place yellowfin tuna, it was really special. Won a bunch of money, and just a really great special memory. So those two, it all centers around, for me, my family and friends, and getting to do what we love, which is being out on the water. And you get out there, and hopefully we'll get enough content to be able to show people what really drives people and lights that flame in their heart that drives people to work forever just so they can fish.
Yeah, and that's what we're hearing with a lot of these events that are going to be coming up this summer, is that people are really focused on creating events that are really geared for creating a really good next generation of fishing. It's focused on integrity, and your tournament is going to be exactly that.
Yeah.
Kicking off the action of the Florida Panhandle Billfish Series, June 12th through the 16th, I believe, are the dates. You guys are going to be the first tournament to get the action started.
Yeah, we're excited to be first. It's going to be a grueling 3-week battle, and I think that when you put these 3 tournaments together, the Pensacola International, which is the longest standing tournament on the Gulf Coast, you have ECBC, which is a huge one, and then you've got Bay Point, which has come back, and it's a great venue and a great tournament, and they've got a bunch of boats down there. It's really going to intermingle those 3 rosters, get some crossover between the tournaments, which is going to build those 3 tournaments, which in hand is here to help build awareness for the community and in the Panhandle and in the Gulf of Mexico. And in the Gulf of Mexico, we have, I would say, one of the world-class fisheries here. You just got to fish hard, and it's tough because you got to go a long ways, and you got to put the time and effort in, but the fish are out there. And so you're really going to see who some of the best teams are, especially on the Gulf Coast, and the ones that come to fish these 3 tournaments in a row and fish a portion of them or whatever portion of it. You're really going to see some guys compete.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of action. So tell me a little bit about what's going to separate this tournament from the other 2 in the series. What's different about the structure, the dynamics, things like that, that set it apart from the other 2?
Yeah, so our tournament here out of Pensacola, we're actually geographically the furthest west.
Okay.
So if you looked at it geographically, we're a little bit closer to the oil fields that everybody likes to go. And then we're about the same, if not as close, or a little bit closer to the fads right there around, around the spur and whatnot. So geographically, we're furthest west. We're the first one. The weather is, in the Gulf of Mexico, the weather can be whatever it is. It can be volatile. So we'll get to see that. And this tournament, again, it's one of the oldest ones. It's got some epic history in it. If you look back, at one point in the 80s, the International had over 200 boats fishing it, up to 200 boats. So, we're trying to get back to, having a lot of participation. I don't know that any tournament on the Gulf Coast will get back to 200 boats. That was insane back in the day.
Yeah.
In different venues and whatnot. But we're getting back there, and we'll be able to showcase the fishery that we have here out of Pensacola.
So being that you guys are the furthest west, you've got a lot of deep water out there to the west, that big oil, that structure out there. Do you think there's a really good chance that you guys will end up producing the biggest fish out of the 3 series events?
Man, it's anybody's call. You just got to get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
The Internationals had a lot of really big fish caught. Bay Point back in the day had that 1,050 pounder somewhere around in there, which is still the state record of Florida. ECBC has caught some giants, a bunch over 700. So I mean, it's a toss up. It's a toss up.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see for sure. So what a lot of people are interested in, tell us a little bit about the prize pool for this tournament.
Yeah. So for the International this year, for largest blue over 700, we've got a guaranteed $35,000. That's not even talking about OCAs and tournament money. That's just out there for anybody that catches one over 700, and that's sponsored by Step One Automotive. So we've got that. We've got the tournament champion money. That's going to be good, and then OCAs, it should be good as well.
Oh, that'll be incredible. In terms of release, are there any release categories?
So we do have release. And in the structure of our tournament, tournament champion is the heaviest weighed blue marlin. In the event that no blue marlin is weighed, tournament legal blue marlin is weighed, it goes to boat points, which is release points, as well as meat fish points. In our tournament, we catch anywhere from 50 to 100 billfish in a year, depending on in a tournament, depending on the year. And when you talk about that, I mean, we harvest one maybe once every other year. We don't harvest a whole lot because we've got a really high limit at 110 inches. That's lower jaw fork length. And when you consider that, we're getting a lot of research out of this. A lot of catch and releases coming out of it. We have Jim Frakes in the Gulf Coast Research Laboratory. They come over and they do tests off of meat fish as well as any harvested billfish. And then if there is blue marlin harvested, we have a donation program where it goes to feed those in need. So it's, we are giving back and we're making the most of these fish.
It's incredible. Yeah, the conservation in terms of what billfish tournaments provide for the science of billfish as a whole, what a lot of people just don't understand when we see pushback on photos of beautiful fish that are up at the weigh station. They see that and they take it as these tournament anglers are coming in, they're killing all the marlin they catch. And as you just stated, that is absolutely not the case. Maybe once every other year, there is one fish out of many others that are released. And that one fish contributes so much in terms of just scientific research, stuff that can't be captured from fish that are released. And then, as you said, the meals as well, which is incredible. So it's really good to hear that you guys have that program. And
then staying on that, when you talk about what we call the meat fish, which is the wahoo dolphin tuna or mahi, whatever you want to call the dolphin, those fish right there, we'll have NOAA out here. We'll have data collection from NOAA, and they'll clip fins and take samples from almost every single meat fish, and they'll get lengths and weights on every single one of those. It's all going to research here, and it's all, the power in conservation is the data that's collected. And out of these tournaments, because it's a congregation of a lot of fish caught at one time, it's really easy for them to congregate and gather a lot of data.
That's awesome. And so what do all the competitors and other boat owners feel about these efforts to push a little bit more on the release side, a little bit more towards the conservation? I know a lot of the boats now are getting equipped with satellite tags and things like that.
If you look at the funding that goes into conservation, and whether it's hunting or fishing or any of it, a lot of it is paid for by the outdoorsmen or the sportsmen or the people that are enjoying them. Mm-hmm. We're buying permits, we're buying licenses, we're buying tackle and fuel, all of which have taxes that are geared in that direction. So most of this conservation is actually funded by the people that enjoy it. And one of the things we always say at the Pensacola Big Game Fishing Club is conservation for the next generation. And I went back, I've chaired or co-chaired the Junior Angler Tournament 6 different times. It's near and dear to my heart because anything we can do to get these kids, away from screen time and out there enjoying God's green earth and blue ocean, that's what we really need to be doing. And that's, it gives kids experiences that they wouldn't get otherwise. And then you're teaching somebody, when you teach them about the outdoors and how to catch fish and enjoy everything that we have out here, it really sparks an interest for the rest of their life that is something they can do and pass down generation to generation. But in doing that, we have to be cognizant of the fact that if we overfish and overharvest, it won't be there. And I would say the vast majority of people that I know are going to agree with that and be very conscious of it.
I would think so. From what I understand, a big pillar of the Pensacola Big Game Fishing Club, you guys were one of the founding members of the Billfish Foundation, correct?
Yep, that is correct. And Ellen Peel is she's a long. Actually, she caught her first billfish in our tournament. Sorry again. And Peter Chai-Banzai, he's a great friend of ours as well. We've got a bunch of tags. We're actually starting in our tournament this year, tag and release for swordfish. Oh, really? The sword fishery is getting big in the Gulf of Mexico and around the world for everybody, and so that's more data collection we can get. They're not harvesting every single one, especially these guys daytime, and they'll go out there and catch 12. They'll harvest 1 or 2, and the rest of them they're just releasing. So now we're trying to get them to start tagging them. And when they tag them, they're getting an estimated size and weight, and they're getting a location of where they're at. Mm-hmm. And so then when you get these recaptures, years down the road, you're saying, oh my God, this fish has grown so many inches and estimated so many pounds in so many years. And it's given them, and you can see where they've ended up from point to point. Hopefully they tag it at the next point. When they tag it at the next point, there's another chance for recapture, and it's all done through the Billfish Foundation.
Yeah, and that's incredibly valuable data from, you think about the money that it would take a government program to hire a boat to get out there, install this, everything, but the anglers are contributing to that, which, again, is going to help when you create regulations surrounding those populations of whether it be swordfish, billfish, whatever the meat fish may be. That's all really, really helpful. So it's great to hear that you guys are involved in those conservation efforts as well.
Yeah.
So 53 years of doing the Pensacola International Billfish Tournament. What is on the horizon in terms of the future? I know you guys are getting involved in some awesome series. There's all kinds of different data you guys are collecting. What does the future look like for you?
So for us, it's we've been around for 53 years, and you're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. And so we feel like we have to continue to grow the sport. One of the big things that's happening right now is the sword fishery is kind of blowing up. And that's for many different reasons, but people are, we used to just kind of catch them at night, kind of doing it. And now people are even daytime at sword fishing for them and going out there. So one of the new things for the Pensacola International this year, we are adding a tag and release division for swordfish. And, we have a lot of boats coming out there. We have a swordfish category, so we have boats going out there. And some of these daytime guys are going out there and catching 10, 12, 15 fish, and they're harvesting a couple, but they're tagging or they're releasing the rest of them or tagging them. Hopefully they're tagging them because of all the data that we get from them. Because so when a fish is tagged, as opposed to just caught and released, which is, hey, you got the leader, got good video verification, pop them off, everything's safe, everything's good. With tag and release, you're bringing them up and you're getting a tag in them, strategically placing that tag has an individual number on it. And when you turn that into the Billfish Foundation, what you're going to turn into them is an approximate length, an approximate weight, an approximate location, and that tag number. Eventually, hopefully, there's a recapture of that fish, and you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be able to see, hey, it was tagged here, and on the same date, a year later, it was tagged the same right here. Or, oh my God, it got up to the Carolinas, or it got around the tip of Florida, or it's over in Texas now. We don't know. They're highly migratory species. And so there's just so much unknown in that, and all this is based off of data collection, and it's in part with our close alliance with the Billfish Foundation and Ellen Peel and Peter Chabanzai, helping provide the tags and the opportunity for us to gather that information for them. We've got the Florida Panhandle Billfish Series, which is again, we're going back to this is going to be an awesome series, big bragging rights, a little bit of money there. We've got a bunch of really big sponsors and some cool stuff going on with it. So you've got the prize money in a big, giant perpetual trophy that's going to be beautiful. We'll have that unveiling here. Maybe not in this, but a little bit later. We'll see how it goes. But the winning boat's captain is also going to win what we call the Florida Man Trophy. It's a big, giant, hand-carved belt buckle. It's beautiful. It's presented by Miller Lite as well. And that captain and crew is also going to win 52 cases of Miller Lite, a case a year, so Miller Lite for a year. So everybody's excited about that. And then along in the series, you're also going to have, we have Peden that's a big sponsor. We have Beard Equipment that's a big sponsor. We have the Billfish Foundation. We've got Release Marine and Larry Rackley. And then, let's not forget about Boaters List. We've got our big sponsor with Boaters List, and what y'all have going on there is really amazing, and it's going to help our core mission. Everything y'all are doing with Boaters List TV and all of the social medias and getting awareness out there, and then the dock and everything to kind of congregate and help build this community. In a platform that is easy and free for the boaters and the boat owners and the boating community is really awesome. When we think about it, and all of these tournaments in this series are all here for the same thing, which fits perfectly with Boaters List, is trying to lift up these communities, the local communities, the boating community, the fishing community. That has to, it's just so special to me, and I have learned it through my family and my father, and I'm trying to pass it down to my 3 kids. I've got 3 little boys now, a 3.5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. So they love being on the water and fishing, and I hope and pray that one day I get to do this with my kids and my grandkids, just as my dad's getting to do it now. And it's just special memories. And again, it all comes back to we've got to lift up these communities and lift up, everybody as a whole. And I think that fits in perfectly with the mission of the series and the Pensacola Billfish Club and Boaters List as well.
Absolutely. A rising tide lifts all boats, and we're really excited to be partnering with the series and tournaments much like.
And y'all are going to be live streaming it too.
Right. We're going to be right there in the action. My cameraman is so excited. He's smiling from ear to ear. He's got you talking about it, and it's just going to be such a great time at these tournaments, seeing the fish come in, seeing the excitement from the captains, and just being involved in an event that we know is going to be supporting the future of our fisheries. That's what's most important.
And if it gets one person out there wanting to fish, it's done its job, because they're going to go out there, do it the right way, be men and women of integrity. Let's go out there and fish and have a good time. And, you get to eat fish, you get to catch them, and as long as we do it right, we get to do it for the rest of our lives and the next generation and the next.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to taking part in the action with you, Robo. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me
on today. We look forward to being at the tournament with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And as always, for any of your boating needs, be sure to check out boaterslist.com to get connected with the best service providers in your area. Whether you're fishing a tournament and you need some fuel or bait, or you're just trying to get out on the water with your family and you might need a quick repair here or there, check out Boaters List to get connected with service providers in your area that can get you out on the water fast with amazing service.
Boaters List.